Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? So, as you guys seen in the live a little bit ago, Chad Williams out of Kentucky with South Kentucky, and he's going to correct me after I say all this. He's got a YouTube channel. We've got a YouTube channel. I'm not saying broadcast us. Hit him up too. He was the first one to shoot us some videos. He's going to sit here and ask me some questions. Because you know what? I asked y'all some questions. Chad was the first one to say, hey, put your butt in the seat. I'm going to ask you some questions. So you know what, Chad? Let's get to it. What do you got?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we was just talking earlier before we started recording this and stuff, and I always like to hear other people's history and what got them intrigued into got them interested in garden tractor pulling. For me, it was being a little boy. I was living in this subdivision, and a friend of mine actually pulls V8 mini rods with me now.
Yeah.
He had this little bitty old, I want to say it was a Sears garden tractor with a downshaft 8-horse 8-inch wheel.
Absolutely.
And I had bar tires on it, and I remember he would fire that thing up over there across the road from us, and I thought, man, how is he getting so much sound out of that little thing, And so it was just intriguing for me, which I was always interested in small engines and stuff. So yeah, that's why I was just kind of curious, because I was like, man, you got a good thing going here, something starting. I was just wondering, what got you interested in garden tractor pulling? I didn't realize that y'all had been doing it for a while.
So I am a second generation, and like I said, I've got more kids than just Bubba, and Bubba is the person that you guys see mostly on the videos. Bubba is the third generation in this club. So we've been pulling since the mid '90s. My aunt and my uncle started this. My dad is one hell of an engine builder, and he built the motors for my aunt and uncle for the Cubs. And we don't have them in here in the shop, but like I said earlier, we're going to build a bigger shop. That's going to be all on our other pages, on our personal pages. And but yes, we've been doing this since the mid '90s. My aunt passed away in '01. In '06, we had a family separation, as you want to say. And so for many years, we got out of it since '01. In 2015, 16-ish, I was back home, and like you just said, Chad, I was going down the road. I was going to my house. I happened to look over, and I went, hey, I know what that setup is. I seen wheelie bars, I seen the tires, I seen the front wheels, I seen that motor just sitting there screaming, and I went back into this game. I was in it as a kid, and I went back in. And so I backed my car up, I pulled in his driveway, and, just like any old country folk person would be, he said, what are you doing? I said, I don't care to talk to you, I want to talk about your tractor, just like you are right now. And I said, I know what that is. So tell me about where you hook, where you go. And this is what the podcast channel is. Because just like you, Chad, just like me, absolutely our neighbors, just like, all you're going to see is us going down the highway. You don't know where we're stopping. You don't know where we're going to get, lunch, something to drink, fuel, whatever. So you're going to chase us down the highway, hoping we can pull over so you can ask a question. That's what this podcast is about. I want to interact everybody one spot so we can interchange information. You're from Kentucky. I'm from Central Missouri. And I'm going to say right now, I know you boys shot your mouth off. And maybe not you, and I know you're smiling right now. Maybe not you, but I know a couple of you boys shot your mouth off. And you're going to see us in June in Kansas. We're going to have us an old school grudge match. But, just in saying, that's where we got back into pulling. And we had an absolute blast. And like I said, we're fourth generation or three generation right now, because I'm going to put my oldest daughter on blast right now, because I will put my grandson on a tractor in Sheldon with the Midwest Pullers in August, and that will set a 4 generation garden tractor puller. And not to put Bubba over anybody else, but Bubba is the youngest person for Midwest Pullers and the old club out of Rich Hill. He is the youngest person to ever pull. He pulled at 2 years old, and I have that video.
That's pretty awesome.
And we still have that tractor. Now, if you know anything about, do what?
Oh, I was saying, for me, it was kind of backwards. Like, when I got interested in it, I think my first pull that I ever did was like in 2001. And so, when I got interested in it, then my dad kind of took an interest in it.
Yeah.
And for years, my dad would just be there kind of like helping me and like assisting me with something I needed. And then he got to where he could read a track pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he got to where he started pulling. And then he actually has a tractor. He gets out. He don't run it all the time, but he does get it out. He'll run it some. But now there for years, Daddy was going with me for a long, long time. So I kind of got him interested. And then, excuse me, when I had my son, I knew I wanted to get him interested in it.
Absolutely.
So when he was just a toddler, I would set him in front of the TV watching RFD TV, the Struck Tractor Pull, and he cut his teeth on that, and he loved it. So when he got about 1 or 2 years old, I built him a little tractor. And the one I built him is, you may have seen it out there on the internet. It's yellow with it's M&M's on it. It's got a truck body. It's yellow and it's on 8-inch wheels. And the truck body raises up.
Yeah,
like
I've seen that.
Truck.
I want to drive that tractor. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's my son's. I built that for him, and it's a wheel horse frame.
Yeah.
With a wheel horse rear end, and so he's been driving the fire out of that thing. He's pulled it since he could. He was riding in that tractor when he could barely hold the steering wheel, and I had a hand throttle on it for him. I helped him get it down the track. Now he's got to where his foot can almost hit. Well, his foot can hit the clutch, but I have to kind of scoot him back so I can lock the gear for him. But he got to where now he steers it, drives it, and everything else, and I just pretty much let him take it down the track. I don't have to really, help him much with it. Just with the clutch and the throttle, I help him a little bit, but driving it, he drives it pretty much on his own now. But what really got him was we would sit at home and we'd watch some YouTube videos, and I always loved V8 mini rods, and that was kind of the direction for years I've wanted to go with, right? I wanted to move to that level.
Yeah.
And so I had an opportunity to buy a hot rod tractor that had a 750 GSXR fuel injection on it. And I bought it and ran it for a while, and then I sold it to some boys down in Tennessee. And I took that money. I told my wife, I said, I'm going to go up to V8 because that's what I want to do. And, and then casting can run the garden tractor. Now I still have my garden tractor too. I have a wheel horse that I've had since 2003 that I drag out and run once in a while. It's got a Kohler 32-inch modified on it, and it's on 8-inch wheels. And he's 8 years old now, and he absolutely loves them mini rods.
Oh yeah.
And so it's kind of a little thing with me and him, I'm hoping he'll want to start turning wrenches and and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, and absolutely. I mean, that's what this sport's all about. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's this sport, if it's drag racing, or if it's just a show car out in the park. On the weekends or once a month, whatever. Anything that involves a kid is absolutely. You can teach a kid life lessons in any sport, any aspect. My second oldest is in the demo derby, and him and his dad do demo derby. That's an amazing life history. And so they do the big V8s, and there's hardly anything different between these garden tractors and a V8. We have gas, exhaust, throttle, safety switches, and it's just the aspect of bringing your kid out here and letting them in the garage or letting them in the shed and learn something. My kids have learned, and like I said in one of my videos, my oldest and my second oldest, they can read a wire diagram and wire one of these tractors. Now my youngest ones, I'm still teaching them how to bolt and unbolt the tire or change a belt out or whatever. And there's a lot of guys that are going to jump on here and say, "Hey, Cubs are better than belts." And I know you guys pull belts down there. We pull belts with us. But, and it may be a grudge match between Cubs or drive shafts or belts or, John Deere versus Cub or Wheel Horse or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all a life lesson for the parent to be with the kid. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. I think that if more people thought like that and
Yeah.
understood, I mean, it would grow because we have had some clubs that nobody can get along with nobody. Everybody's wanting to fuss and fight, and protest and all that. And the thing about it is I've been around it since 2001. You've been around it probably longer than me, but you know as well as I do. If you've been around it that long as we have, you've probably about seen everything you can see,
Oh, yeah.
and imagine everything you can imagine that could go on in sport. For us here in Kentucky, the 26-inch and the 23-inch tires, they're popular too. They're very popular things. But like a lot of, there is a lot. I can't tell you how many around Kentucky and Tennessee that build 8-inch wheel belt-driven tractors. And I'll tell you something. You ever sit your butt down on, and if you've been around the 26-inch tire stuff, you know what a 30 cubic inch modified is.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever sit your butt down on a 30 cubic inch modified on an 8-inch wheel, or you take, or like that class now that's really popular down in Sugar Creek, which is it's a V-twin modified, which is a Predator. It's a Harbor Freight Predator motor.
Yeah.
And you can buy everything aftermarket. You can get anything you want to from them motors. They've had them down there running on alcohol, M5, nitro, and I'm telling you what, you set your butt down on something like that or one of them 32-inch modified on an 8-inch wheel, it's nothing like it. Nothing.
Well,
And that's not taking nothing away. That's not taking nothing away from the 26-inch tire guys or 23-inch tire guys, because they have some super nice rides and some super cool rides, and I'm sure they're fun to pull. But I'm telling you, I know if you've never experienced that, come to Kentucky sometime. One of us put you on one.
Kentucky my ass. What we're going to do is I've got a sled owner right now that comes over to Illinois, pulls all over Missouri. He's going into Kansas. He's not only pulling on his personal track, which I talked to him the other day, and he's trying to make a date for that. But he's expanding out there. So he is a middle class traveling club. And he's the one that kind of put that little fire under my ass in and said, "Hey, let's do this." And absolutely, I'll give him credit for that. He is the one that put the fire under me. Now, what we have done since then is absolutely amazing. Because he wanted somebody to sit live at his pools and shoot videos. And I said, that's absolutely fine. I said, I'll do that. But you only do here, and here. I want to give those other people their 5 seconds of fame. And from that, I met you. I met the boys in Oregon. I met the boys in Maryland. I met the boys up north. I met the boys down south. Because all of us want to interact. And like I said in that one video, I told my wife, hey, I want to go on vacation. You want to go shopping, but I still want to go pulling, because I want to go see Chad in Kentucky where we're going to go on vacation. I want to see what he's doing. So she went up on a website, and it's absolutely amazing. And just like you, I popped my mouth off and I said, hey, somebody do something with this. You jumped on board. I've got other guys jumping on board. I've got some big news coming on because, like I said, even the small guys need our 5 seconds of fame. We're not Louisville. We're not Waterloo. We're not,
We're
Keystone. But even on the small scale, we still have our big pools. You've got a big pool coming up. Quincy, Illinois has a big pool coming up. Lawrence, Kansas has a big pool coming up. So it's like, we need to promote our small clubs even on that big circuit. And that's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, I mean, anytime you want to come down south and check us out, well, come on. Somebody will put you on one and let you drive one.
No, what you boys need to do is load up that trailer and come up here to us.
Yeah. Well, I would. If the problem with the way it works with me is my job. My job, I work evenings, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So the only time I have is Saturday and Sunday really to do anything unless I plan to be off for such and such event. And with my music, because we just released a blues album here a couple months ago. I've got a band and we play music, and I've been doing that for several years. And then between that and then being on the praise and worship team at church on Sunday morning, and then the time I have to work in for pulling is usually like Saturdays, but I don't have nothing else scheduled. Or if I've got some vacation where I can work out to go to fair pools or events around local Tennessee, Kentucky. I'm going to want eventually, because there's a couple little more things I want to do to my V8 mini rod. But eventually, my plan is to venture out to maybe Illinois and even maybe up toward y'all's way. But it's just going to take me some time because, like I said, when you move up to that level, running with that pack,
oh yeah,
it takes money. And it takes. I've been really blessed to have some sponsors this year. Halifax Hot Rods, they're on board sponsoring my mini rod. Thomas Fuel and Oil out of Glasgow for all your VP racing fuel needs. They sponsor me this year. They sponsored me last year. Hewitt Racing, he's been sponsoring me. Kyle Hewitt, he's been sponsoring me the last 2 years. He keeps that motor running it runs like a top. 355 small block built out the butt. It's on alcohol.
But I'm
We're
going to
talking
chime in on
4 months.
this one a little bit. So, and I'm not saying a shout out because I know he's not on this page. But you know, I pay attention to Facebook, TikTok just like you do. And Kenny, I believe it's Kenny Wallace, as I believe who his name is, and I may be wrong. But he just put out a post here a while back that said, "Hey, if you want to sponsor, do not go up to that person and say, hey, I want X amount per year. I want this and that. Just go up to your local person and say, hey, I'm not asking for this. I just want to help get your name out there. All I want to do is
So
put your name on the tractor and help
you're
get your name
exactly
out.
right.
You know,
So what you do, that the way I did it, and I was very fortunate to be able to do it the way I did it. I go to these people and I say, what do you want to offer me? I can offer you this.
yeah,
I can advertise for you. What do you want? What do you want to offer me?
yeah.
We can work out a package deal. We can work out whatever you want to do. We can work it out. That's the way I normally do it. I don't go to people and say, "Hey, I need you to sponsor me. This is what I want, and this is what I require." That's
We're not
not of me to say.
we're not on
Because
that league.
you'll never get a sponsorship like that. If you
No.
want to help people and get their businesses out, go to them and say, "Hey, look, I'm looking for a sponsorship opportunity. I'm open to anything. And
Yeah.
here's what I can do for you.
And
We can put your name. We can put your name on the tractor. We can do this. Whatever you want to do, we can do it. And a lot of times, more than not, if it's somebody that can afford it, they will say, "Okay, well, here we'll give you this amount of fuel, or we'll supply this amount of oil to you, or we'll give you $500 for hook fee, or you know we'll in Kyle Hewitt's position. The man has been so good with helping me get all these bugs worked out on the tractor, and took his. I mean, just and what he does is I put his name on the tractor, and he cuts me percent off the labor that he
yeah.
does on the tractor. And so, hey, anything helps. I got one sponsor. They help provide Lucas oil treatment for my tractor.
Yeah.
I got it. Thomas Oil and Fuel helps supply VP methanol for my tractor. So, yeah, that is absolutely. It took me honestly, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but it took me a long time to understand how that works. Because if you go to a company and say, "Hey, we need sponsorship. This is what we're needing," they're probably 9 times out of 10 going to be like, "We can help you." But if you go to them and say, "Hey, I can help your company. I can help your business grow by advertising your business when my tractor's going down that track, or when somebody comes to the pit looking at my tractor, what can you do for me? If you're
Absolutely.
interested, we can do something." And then they'll 9 times out of 10 they'll be like, "Well, hey, it might be we'll pay your gas, or we'll pay your we'll buy 10 quarts of oil, or we'll buy
Whatever.
whatever." It's just it might be a percent off something. It might be like, "Oh, we'll give you a certain amount of percent off of your fuel. Or we'll whatever you need." So
No, and
that's
absolutely. I
really
mean, because even back
that's
home,
how it works.
because even back home, I didn't have a guy that had a big ass shop or, whatnot, but he had a little mower service. And so being on that small club or small circuit, he wanted that name out there. But like you just said, he didn't have money for that sponsorship. And he didn't have that, escrow or whatever they call it to put his name out there. But, just like you and me, he was like, hey, if you have any issues, drop your tractor off. I'll get it fixed before your next hook.
Yeah.
And yes, I still paid for his services, but I got a little bit of discount, but I brought business with me. I've got a couple businesses right now, just like you. I've got Beggin out of Springfield area. I got Tightwad Apparel out of my area right now that makes all of our apparel, even the hoodie I'm wearing right now. And, they're great people. I don't ask anything out of those guys. I'm just like, hey, let me put, and all I do is go, hey, I don't want anything out of you, but can I put your name on our tractors to put your name out there? I don't ask anything. And when we do that, then they say, hey, if you do that, we'll do this for you. Just like you're saying. And that's how you get that sponsorship. It may not be, that $10,000, $15,000 a year like them big kids are
No.
doing. But by God, like right now, I've got two people right now that I'm talking with that are gonna do a picture photo check on dry erase. So that way kids all the way up to the V8, big fucking tires, can take a picture with a big old check with their tractor. And I've got two companies right now going, hey, we'll do this for you. Absolutely. Because their names on the side of the tractor, their names on our banner with our broadcast station. So we're going to get out there because they see what we're doing. They see
Yeah.
we're interacting with everybody. They see we're interacting with you, everybody else all over the country. And so we're going to bring business in. And I was like, hey, I don't want nothing. This is
Yeah.
what I would like if you could, make it for me. And if when you say that, they'll absolutely say, hey, don't worry about price. We'll just make it for you. Just let them know what we do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that you know. Well, just to give everybody an example. Okay. Garden tractors. I don't know how it is in Missouri, but usually around here, garden tractors is anywhere to go pull one. Your hook fee's anywhere from $10 to $25.
Yep.
And around here at the local clubs, on a Saturday pull, they'll give you two hooks, and they'll take your best hook out of both hooks. That's the way they do it at the local clubs. Okay. Uh, Now that's not bad. But now, when you get on up in the bigger levels, like the V8 mini rods, like what I've got the last 2 years, what I've been doing, you're talking $50 to $75 hook fee. One hook.
Oh, absolutely.
One hook.
And
So
what's that one
you
hook? Is it
want
5 foot or is it 300 foot?
do what now?
I said that 50 to $75 a hook. Is that 5 foot or is that 300 foot? You don't know.
That
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. That's you get one shot
Yeah.
unless you draw the first one to hook in the class where you can turn it down. You get one shot.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when you get in that kind of level of it, every little bit helps. Every bit of I pulled garden tractors for over 20 years. I still do get them out and pull them. Never ever crossed my mind about trying to get a sponsorship because I really didn't need it.
Yeah.
But now, in order to play on that kind of level, you gotta have some kind of help because unless you just making $100,000 to $200,000 a year, you need some help.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And so it's best. I have a lot of people ask me how you get sponsors for the mini rod. Well, the best way to do it for anything that you're doing, whether it's a garden tractor, whether it's a mini rod, whether it's a two-wheel drive, a four-wheel drive truck, economy rod, whatever you're pulling, super farm, tractors, whatever. The best way to do it is whatever company that you're wanting to get help from, You go to them and tell them what you can do for them. You present to them what you have.
Yeah.
You present to them what you're doing with it, with videos, pictures, whatever, and tell them, say, I can help you in your business. If you want to be interested in a sponsorship, and then they'll be like, okay, what do you want to do? A lot of times they'll say, what do you want to do? And don't try to move the line and go ridiculous with them. Just say, I'm open to whatever you want to do.
Oh,
Whatever
absolutely.
you want to do. Because we're hobby pullers. Me, you, we're all we may pull on different levels. No matter what we're doing, but we're hobby pullers. We don't run the NTPA blower stuff and Louisville and all. I mean, we're hobby pullers. So yeah, every little bit helps, and that's I've been fortunate and blessed to be able to have some people on board that I call friends, and a lot of times, well, for example, this is the second year. Last year we didn't have that good of a year. We was chasing bugs and gremlins on the mini rod, and the very last pull of last year in Livingston, Tennessee, I actually ended up with a fourth place finish.
Yeah.
So it does pay off, but like I said, when I got that year out of the way, I was like, I don't know if these people want to, still stay with me or not, but every one of them has been on board with me. I called Thomas Fuel and Oil up and said, hey, y'all want to be on board with me again this year? That's all I had to ask. And they said, yeah, we'll do the same thing we did last year. I said, all right. They said, we'll have the contract here for you to sign when you get here. I said, okay, no problem. I'll be there to sign it. And so it, like I said, it just, there's a lot of different levels of pulling and a lot of different ways to approach the motorsport if you need kind of assistance or help in getting into it.
And absolutely. I mean, even like, what I'm doing, what you're doing, even Mark up in Illinois or Ed up in Ohio with Puller Ed, it's one of those things. It's like, even if you're not pulling or you're doing anything, because I've got a couple people on here right now that don't do garden tractor pulls, but they have
Right.
this club or they got a show car club going around. It's one of those things that, hey, even on my level and your level, it's like, hey, I may not do this, and I'm not asking for anything on this level, but hey, I'm going to go out and videotape whatnot, and I've seen this and this. What would it take to have a sign with your name on it just to shoot, between cars or tractors or whatever, just to shoot your logo? What can you hand me? And that's what I'm doing right now is, I've yet to go out and pull, with the podcast channel. Now we can shoot video with our own, and I know a lot of guys that shoot video and YouTube and whatnot. And I've got clubs come to me and saying, hey, we'd like for you to come out. And it's like, sweet, what am I getting? Because they came to me, I didn't go to them. And, we may get a free hook or two or a free weekend, whatever. But, it's all that, I guess, name of the game of who do you know, how do you know them, and what are you going to offer them? So,
That helps.
no, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to do what I do. I'll tell you how the whole YouTube thing started for me was last year, because I'm all the time watching, me and my son watch pulling videos all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought last year, I thought it would be so cool if I could just start a YouTube channel with just all things pulling. I don't care if it's RC cars, trucks, tractors, mini rods, lawn and garden, whatever, right? So I go to Sugar Creek a lot, and so I talk to them and say, hey, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. I want to shoot some video down here, and they was more than happy. They say, yeah, that'd be cool. It exposes the club and it helps get the word out. So I started off last year just doing that, and then I had videos from years past that saved on other devices, and I got them offloaded and put them on YouTube, just little shorts and things. And it took off, Tony. It took off like a rocket ship.
Oh, absolutely.
It took off like a rocket ship, and I'm like, okay, And the next thing I know, I'm getting all these subscribers. YouTube wanting to partner with me. I've got set up and worked out with them where I can be compensated once I start getting
up there.
Yeah, it's already set up. They've already sent me everything. I can do my lives now. I ain't even done live, and we're gonna do one this year on our YouTube channel. We hadn't done one yet, but I'm gonna bring that to the van. But man, for me, it was an idea. What I'm saying is, it was an idea, just something for me and my boy at home to enjoy. We can go back and watch. We can watch ourselves making fools, right?
Yeah.
It took off like a rocket.
It's all that 5 seconds of fame.
Yeah. So now it's one of them deals where now I have to get content.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm like, even if I'm not pulling, I'm like, I better go get some content. So that's what I do, and Sugar Creek is my go-to place for it, because it seems like everybody loves the kids. Like, we got one video on there that has over 100,000 views, kids class, because everybody loves watching them kids just get out there and have a ball. And the V-Twin modified, I don't know if you got to get on there and check them out, but they're wild. Them things, the open single cylinders, there's a lot of different, there's different videos on there, and I put mini rod pulling on there. I've got a canoe rods on there. I've got pulling trucks on there. Anything pulling. So that's basically, it's been running in South Central Kentucky pulling on YouTube, if anybody wants to check it out when you share this.
Oh, absolutely.
And
hold on.
And Sugar Creek Pullers of Tompkinsville.
Yeah. No, I mean, I blasted your stuff out there. And I mean, even if, even on the, we was talking sponsorship a while ago, and now we're talking YouTube channels. Even on the YouTube side of things, I reached out to you and I said, hey, this is what I like, this is what I'm doing. And you took a chance on me. Just like we were talking about sponsorship, you all took a chance with me. And, I've got, are you good? Sorry, I got my old guard dog in here with me now. So give me just a second. Let me move my chair. You're not getting on camera. No. No. So, but no, y'all took a chance. I've got other people taking a chance. But it's one of those things, and we can kick back to the sponsorship. You don't know what the next person is going to offer. And like we're trying right now to get the lives out there, like you have. We're trying to live off of every channel. And then not only that, we're trying to shoot them videos for that 5 seconds of fame. So like you just said, not only, you and your kid or me and my kid, because my boy likes to sit back and say, hey, we're on so-and-so's YouTube channel. And now he can say, hey, this is my dad's channel, or this is our channel, or whatever. He can sit back and say, hey, we like this, or, we're doing this. but I haven't put any content out on the podcast. I just have my own personal, just like you did, and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and whatever. But no, I mean, it's amazing what this social media is doing. I met you down in Kentucky. I met some boys up in northern Iowa, Ohio, all over Missouri that doing this stuff. But nobody has a central base for what we do. And that's what we're trying to do now, is that central base where we can all interjoin to see what everybody's doing. Just so we can...
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's going to be a couple boys on going, hey, well, I watch them for this or I watch them for this. You know, get on there and see what they're doing so we can cheat when we come down to Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, see what y'all boys are running, and you boys can see what we're running to see if we ever come down that way. You know?
Yeah.
Shit, use it for cheating. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't care. But no, I would absolutely like to, I haven't talked to Mr. Perry about it, but I know we're gonna come. I think he's coming to Illinois next year. If not, we'll figure out somewhere close. But I would absolutely love a grudge match. And I was talking to an old boy last night, and I said, hey, we used to do this from the northern Missouri guys to the southern Missouri guys. We used to be in an old boy's backyard. Shit you not. Old boy's backyard that owned a sled. He had a little bitty club. Like 10 people would show up every weekend, but once a year he would have over 100 hooks at his club. And he would get on social media like right before we all showed up, and he's like, hey, I seen what y'all are doing. I seen what you're texting. I appreciate it. And he made it into a big event. He called it the Grudge. Because northern Missouri and southern Missouri would all show up to his club because he was central to where we all worked. But no, I would absolutely love for all of us to get together. You, Ohio, it's you, Chad Williams out of Southern Kentucky, Ed out of Puller Ed's YouTube channel, Mark with Puller, damn, I just went blank. Puller, he's got a YouTube channel. I've got a YouTube channel. You've got a YouTube channel. And all of us to mingle in one spot, interact, share secrets of who's got going on where. But yeah, no, that absolutely sounds like an amazing time. And I look forward to that next year. Hopefully, if we don't do it this year.
Yeah, man. Maybe we can get something. Maybe we can get something situated. I had an idea a couple of years ago, and I never did. I had several pullers that was interested, but we never did. We never did follow through with it. Do you remember how the Street Outlaws did things?
Yeah.
On Discovery. So with pulling, what I thought about doing sometime was hosting a pool and have a bracket pool. And how you would do that was you'd have to have enough pullers to sign up for the class. So if you're going to have a 20 tractor bracket or a 32 tractor bracket, right, you're going to have enough tractors in that class. But you would draw out of a bucket, and whoever got the numbers faced off against each other. And you went down that bracket, and the winner moved on to the next. You could do it. And then at the end of it, the final two face off for the winner take all, and all that money that all those that pulled it in that bracket would be in that pot.
Well,
it would require a couple of things. It would require a tech man, because they would need to be tech to make sure that they won legally. And it would need to be a set of rules that
to cover everybody.
Anybody, huh?
To cover everybody from the kids all the way up to the V8s. I mean, and I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I get what you're saying, and you know, like me and another old boy talked the other night. Is
Well, it wouldn't be mixed. You like what I'm saying is, let's say you had like you boys run 26-inch tire, I don't know, 12 horse, right?
yeah,
You have a bracket for those, right? Let's say you had 20 of them in a bracket, right? And they all put $50 in the pot, right? And they all draw numbers to face off in that bracket. You wouldn't have. What I'm saying is, it would be fair. You wouldn't have a mixture of where somebody's under the gun or somebody don't need to be in the class because they clearly are outgunning it. They brought a gun to a knife fight or something.
right.
What I'm saying is, we would keep it. We would keep it where like you would have different brackets. It would be a multiple weekend thing. One weekend you'd run for our club's entrance. One weekend you'd have a horse flathead bracket. Next weekend you'd run a big twin stock bracket. Next weekend you'd run a, you know, ever how many tractors you could get to make a bracket. One of them things, and then that money would go, you know, for the winter take off. That was an idea. I never did do it. That was an idea I had several years ago, though.
Yeah. Shit. Sorry. My old guard dog is being a little ass right now. But yeah,
Brother,
no.
I'm gonna have to get off here because I'm gonna have to go home, and I still gotta drive 30 minutes to the house and get
Oh,
tired
absolutely.
and eat
Well, I
and
appreciate.
relax. But I appreciate you having me on, and it was nice to finally meet you in person. And I guess you are putting this out. It's being recorded, right?
Yep. It's all being recorded. We're gonna shoot it.
Okay,
We're gonna put it up on the pages after we get off phone. Would you knock it off?
Okay, so I just want to give a couple shout outs to Sugar Creek Pullers in Tompkinsville.
Yep.
Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel at South Central Kentucky at KY Pulling. South Central Kentucky Pulling. Shout out to Poor Boys Pulling. That's Carl and them. They've been doing a lot of cool stuff. So shout out to them and all my sponsors, Thomas Fuel and Oil, Halifax Hot Rods, and Hewitt Racing. And thank you for having me on, buddy.
Yeah. No, we have we got Lou's Farm over in Lawrence, Kansas. We got Stubborn Mule in Central Missouri, and like I said, we've got some big hooks coming up. We got Splink Fling in the Bull Ring coming on Quincy, Missouri, May 2nd. We got the Lawrence Hook coming up June 12th and 13th. We're going to be out there. Hopefully you guys can be out there for a couple of those events, or maybe one of them. We can all mingle, shoot up on the YouTube. But hey, until next time, let's have a good one.
Yes, sir. It's nice to meet you. We'll do it again.
Yes,